back to Grampy's Garage. I'm Grampy. So today we're going to look at my Sandblaster. We're going to do a modification to it that several people have done. It's the modification where you allow the sand to gravity feed into a siphon device instead of using the siphon device that comes with the Harbor Freight sandblasting cabinet. So let me show you the cabinet. This is the cabinet that I got from Harbor Freight about 5 years ago. I've done a couple modifications to it. Was, well, in search of trying to make it work better, I got several different guns. I probably never bought the right gun. This is another cheapie off of Amazon. It's basically just like the other one, but it had a different siphon hose on it, which I think would work. I thought would work better, but it didn't. I added a longer hose onto the gun. What else? That's all I can think about at the moment. So what are we going to do to it today? Well, we're going to put a siphon device that actually is a gravity feed where it comes out the bottom of the Sandblaster. The media is siphoned up into the gun. You've seen this done many times. I'm going to do it a little bit different than what I've seen done. So down here we have the door where the media is emptied out of. I've already emptied out most of the media. Turn that, and then the media comes out of the bottom. I have a screw holding the hinge on this door. So this is what we're going to do, is we're going to mount to this door. We're going to mount some piping by drilling a hole in there, and the pipe's going to basically attach, the siphon hose is going to attach to the pipe and hopefully make this thing work better. So let's see what we can do. So what we have here is we have piping, some rubber hose, basically, and my goal is to make a siphon device. One of the things I've seen are they use either a 3/4 or a 1/2 inch pipe where it feeds into. I'm using 1 inch. I figured if I can get as much sand down into the tube where it finally ends up with the 5/8 inner diameter hose will give me a better siphon, I'm hoping. Also, what I've seen is they add a valve of some sort. Now this is all stuff I had laying around the house. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole in here, drill a hole in here to allow this 1 inch fitting to fit into the lower trap door. Hopefully the 1 inch piping, which goes down to 3/4 inch and then eventually goes to the 5/8 elbow where our 5/8 tubing is going to connect. That'll give us a better siphon, basically. So let's go ahead and put this thing together. First thing we're going to do is we need to drill a hole in this bottom piece. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fitting here, get the best center I can. With the fitting itself, put a piece of wood on there so I don't ruin the fitting. And then take our X-Acto knife. I was using this thing the other day, the Sandblaster, to clean up an electrical panel door for my mom's house. I'm remodeling her kitchen, and it just has years and years of paint on it. I'm wanting to clean it up and paint it. It wasn't working. I was fighting with the suction tube, trying to put it down into the media. Comes with right here is this pipe, which actually sticks down to the media, and it siphons it up to the gun. This is the gun it came with. So, next step is to drill a hole in here. Let's clamp this down. Now we want to go to a little over an inch. Want to get the hole started. Perfect. That'll work. That'll work just fine. Couldn't have done that again if I tried. These are actually electrical conduit nuts. You can get in the electrical section of any hardware store. The way I did this now, it's pretty much sealed up. So, you want to take your elbow, that'll work, down to our 3/4 pipe. That'll work. 3/4 by 3/4 by 1/2 inch T. That'll work. We're going to go with a 1/2 inch nipple. And then our valve. There we go. 3/4 to 5/8 barbed. elbow. Our next step will be to go under the Sandblaster, make sure everything lines up the way I want it, then I have to drill a couple holes in the Sandblaster itself. Alright, let's see how this fits. So I use this 7/8 step bit to get that hole, and now I'm going to use a deburring tool. That should work. This is a Blackstone deburring tool. You can get them at Fastenal. Should work. The only reason I'm heating it up is to make it a little more pliable so I can get it around the fitting with it being cold. There we go. That's all I wanted. A little more pliable. Right. Put the hose clamp on there. It's there. There we go. Right on there. There. Another thing I did for this thing is I put a pressure regulator on it on the line coming to here, as well as a water separator. You want a water separator on a sandblaster so the moisture doesn't get into your sand or your media. I'm running 165 psi on my compressor, which this thing only requires 120 psi. I have my pressure regulator set at 120 psi. Next is to add the media into it and hook up the air to it. Let's see if it worked. Crossing my fingers. Now it's time to try and see if it works. I'm going to turn the vacuum on so it evacuates the dust out of the cabinet itself. So it's going to be loud. You might not be able to hear me over the vacuum. But I've got the other GoPro set up. See if it makes a difference in what I've done. So here we go. Let's try it. That definitely works.